Hello and good day to you all. Thank you very much for stopping by. Today, we are going to be talking about stress management in social work. I will be covering stress management, and it will be relevant to other professionals as well. Social work, as we all know, it can be very stressful and demanding. In this video, I would like to share with you a few tips on how to manage stress in social work. So tip number 1, talking. Talking through your difficult experiences or simply offloading can be very therapeutic. Speak to your colleagues or someone you can trust. Talking to someone who understands your work is a very important part of stress management. In fact, talking can be very therapeutic. It's almost like having a mini counseling session. So you've had a bad day, right? And you may have dealt with a client that has given you a tough time, or you've dealt with a difficult situation. Speaking to your colleagues about what you've experienced and offloading can be therapeutic, and it can help you to de-stress. You can also bounce off your colleagues for ideas in how to work with and manage complex situations. It's much more difficult to talk to colleagues and offload when you're doing remote working, such as working from home. Previously, you could just walk up to your colleagues and have a quick chat with them and seek advice about something or simply offload. But nowadays, you have to rely on Teams and Zoom, and it all depends on whether your colleague is readily available to speak to you at the time that you so desperately need them. As social workers, we are not in this field to work with easy clients or to do easy work. We will be challenged as social workers. We will face difficulties due to the nature of our work. We need to find strategies and techniques to manage and overcome stress in the workplace. Tip number 2, work-life balance. Work-life balance is really important, and the terminology is self-explanatory. You should have a life outside of work. You need to be able to differentiate between your work life and your personal life. You mustn't mix the two of them together. Working from home can be difficult to draw that balance because people see their home as their personal space, and they shouldn't have to work in their personal space. For some people, working from home doesn't work for them for this exact reason. However, for other people, working from home works perfectly for them, particularly those with childcare responsibilities and those who are informal carers. But for some, it's a balancing act. Trying to draw boundaries when working from their home environment can prove to be challenging. Okay, now as much as we continue to preach work-life balance, the reality is that social work is not 9 to 5. You are dealing with emergency situations and competing demands, and you're forever having to prioritize throughout your working day. Social work is dealing directly with people. It's caseload work, and we cannot always predict what can happen each day. We cannot plan for the unforeseeable. For example, you may have to set up a care package for a client at 4:30 in the afternoon. The matter has come to your attention late in the afternoon, and you're meant to finish work at 5 o'clock. Now, we know that in social work, there's quite a lot of administrative paperwork processes involved before we can even put in a care package for someone. There are processes that must be followed. So if you are dealing with an emergency situation late in the working day, nearing to your finishing time, then it is likely that you will have to stay behind and work after 5 o'clock on that day in order to ensure that the matter has been dealt with, whether it's a care package you have to set up, whether it's an urgent visit that's required, or whether it's a safeguarding matter that needs to be looked into, there are times that you will not be able to finish work at 5 o'clock, and that's the harsh reality of social work. However, on the days that you are able to finish on time, please do finish on time. Working late every day is not work-life balance and can cause burnout. Also, look into any hobbies and interests and try and pursue them outside of work. Tip number 3, yoga. Yoga, yoga, yoga. I have personally found yoga a really good and relaxing way for me to de-stress mentally and physically. Many people do yoga as a remedy to manage stress. Yoga helps you to relax mentally as well as physically. If you sit in front of the computer all the time, then yoga can actually help with your posture and any tension in your muscles and alleviate any pains. Look into yoga classes in your local area if it's something that you are interested in. Tip number 4, massage. When you are feeling stressed and overworked, therapeutic body massage can help to alleviate muscle aches, and it can help you to feel relaxed and to de-stress. Tip number 5, take short breaks away from your computer throughout the day. Staring at a computer screen all day is not only damaging for your eyes, but it can cause headaches and other problems for you now and in later life. It is very easy to sit in front of the computer for 6 hours continuous without even realizing how many hours you've actually spent sitting in front of the computer, because you're so busy. You've got emails coming through that you need to respond to, you've got phone calls coming through, and various assessments to complete. But please do take care of yourself. Tip number 6, annual leave. Make full use of your annual leave entitlement. Please take it and try and space them out throughout the annual leave year rather than taking it all in one go. Obviously, if you have children or certain commitments, then you take your annual leave around your individual commitments. Taking your leave is very important. Everyone needs to have some time off work to recuperate and recharge and come back refreshed. Tip number 7, Toil. Some local authorities and some organisations have a Toil system. So if, for example, you work late or you work outside of your usual working hours, then you can take the time off in lieu. So rather than being paid overtime for additional hours that you've worked, you get the time off instead. However, I must tell you that not every local authority operates a Toil system. In fact, many local authorities don't. My advice to you is try to avoid accumulating too much Toil, because what tends to happen is that you end up taking a lot of time off on Toil, and when you do return back to work, your workload is still waiting for you, and you end up having more work to do and then having to work late again and again in order to play catch up, and then having to take more time off on Toil. It then becomes a vicious cycle. It's not a good habit to get into. Tip number 8, supervision. Speak to your line manager in supervision if you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed. You mustn't suffer in silence. It might be a particular client that you're working with that may be causing you to feel stressed and overwhelmed. It might be that you're swamped with work or inundated with work. You may have a high caseload and need more support. It may be something in your personal life that is adding to your stress or causing you to be stressed at work. Make full use of supervision. This is what supervision is for, and you need to bring the matter to your line manager's attention. If you are stressed and you have a breakdown and you end up being off sick due to stress or ill health, it's not going to benefit you or your employer. So please speak up. Do not suffer in silence. Here is just a quick summary for you. Social work is very stressful, and if we don't manage our stress levels well enough, then stress will end up controlling us, and you will end up being unwell and off sick, which is not good for you and it's not good for your employer and the service. Self-care is really important in social work. Stress can cause headaches, it can drain you out and cause many illnesses. Please look after yourself and look out for the warning signs. You know yourself better than anyone else does. You know if your body and mind is exhausted. If you don't look after yourself, no one else will. Always remember that. Remember that you are the most important asset in any organization. The work cannot be done without people doing it. So please value yourself. Thank you so much for watching me. I do hope that you've benefited from this video. Please support my channel by subscribing, liking and sharing my videos. Please hit the notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be notified. Stay blessed and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.